For over 60 years, NASA has been more than just a space agency. It has been the beating heart of humanity's greatest adventures. From the first tentative steps into orbit to footprints pressed into the dust of another world. From the Hubble Space Telescope's breathtaking images to the Voyager probes slipping silently into interstellar space. NASA has defined what it means to dream beyond the horizon. But today, that very legacy may be standing on the edge of a cliff. NASA's budget, once the pride of a nation, once vast enough to command entire industries, now represents less than 0.5% of the federal budget. A fraction of a fraction. And that fraction may soon shrink even further. Cuts are coming. Deep cuts. Cuts that threaten to slow or even halt projects that have been decades in the making. Think about what that means. The Artemis program, humanity's long-awaited return to the moon, already strained by delays, could find itself stalled indefinitely. The Europa Clipper, poised to investigate an ocean world that might harbor life, could be grounded before its launch pad countdown ever begins. Even planetary defense missions, our thin shield against asteroids, could find their funding slipping away. NASA has survived lean years before. In the 1970s, after Apollo, public support waned. The agency pivoted to Skylab, then to the Space Shuttle. It adapted. But today the landscape is different. Space is no longer NASA's exclusive domain. Private companies like SpaceX and Blue Origin are moving fast, pushing boundaries that once belonged only to governments. Nations like China, India, and the United Arab Emirates are carving their place in the skies. NASA, once unmatched, now risks falling behind. And here is the cruel irony. Even as NASA's discoveries inspire billions, its funding shrinks. Even as its missions reveal new wonders, they fight for survival on the floor of Congress. And even as the dream of Mars gleams on the horizon, the means to reach it may be slipping through our fingers. Pause for a moment. Imagine a world without NASA at the helm. Who carries the torch of planetary exploration? Who leads the search for life beyond Earth? Who dares to attempt missions not for profit, not for prestige, but for knowledge itself? Without NASA's guiding hand, we risk losing more than spacecraft. We risk losing momentum. We risk losing vision. And perhaps most dangerously of all, we risk losing the belief that humanity can reach further together than it ever could alone. But maybe, just maybe, this isn't the end. Because history shows us that NASA has been underestimated before. That when its back is against the wall, it finds ways to adapt. The agency that engineered the Apollo landings in less than a decade. The agency that rebuilt after Challenger and Columbia. The agency that invented the tools to see galaxies being born across the universe. That same NASA may yet endure. Still, the storm ahead is real. Budgets will tighten, choices will grow harder, and if the cuts come as deep as some fear, the consequences could echo for decades. NASA stands at a crossroads. One path leads to retreat, to smaller missions, slower progress, and a fading influence in the story of space exploration. The other leads to resilience, to innovation, to new partnerships, new strategies, and perhaps a rebirth of the boldness that carried astronauts to the moon. This moment matters, because when we look up at the night sky, we are not just seeing stars. We are seeing questions, waiting for answers. Questions that only exploration can resolve. And so we must ask ourselves, will we let NASA fade quietly into the background of history, or will we fight to preserve the spirit of discovery that it represents? The future of NASA, the future of exploration itself, hangs in the balance. And the decisions made in the coming years may determine not just the agency's fate, but the direction of humanity's journey into the cosmos. Because in the end, this is bigger than budgets. This is bigger than politics. This is about who we are and who we dare to become. NASA's story has never been one of certainty. It has been one of bold risks, of near disasters, of miraculous recoveries. And perhaps that is why, even as the storm clouds gather, people still believe. Believe that against the odds, the agency will endure. Believe that somehow, the flame of discovery will not be extinguished. But belief alone is not enough. What happens in the coming months and years will depend on voices. Voices that speak up. Voices that remind the world why exploration matters. Because if we fall silent, so too will the missions that could have changed everything. So here is where you come in. NASA's future may be uncertain, but the conversation about it is alive right now. Do you think NASA will survive the cuts? Do you think private space companies will step in to take the lead? Or will this be the moment when humanity hesitates and the stars slip just a little further from our reach? Let me know in the comments. I want to hear your thoughts. And if you've enjoyed this look into NASA's uncertain future, please take a second to like this video. It helps more people discover it, and it shows me you want more content just like this. And of course, subscribe, because the story of space is not finished. Far from it. In the weeks and months ahead, we'll be diving into more missions, more mysteries, and more of the drama unfolding above our heads. From the race back to the moon, to the search for life beyond Earth, to the bold new technologies that could one day carry us to Mars. All of that, and more, is coming. So if you want to be part of this journey, don't miss out. Hit that subscribe button and join me as we keep